Hello and welcome to CAD for Horticulture. Today we're going to tackle the topic of text. Text is found on the Annotate tab. The first thing we need to do is set up some text styles. That is done by clicking on this little down arrow. Your text style will open up. If you've been following this lessons from the beginning, you know we've set up model space and paper space. Model space, we chose a true type font instead of a shape font. And I gave it a height of 2 feet. If you need to add a text at this time, you just click the new button, give it a name, and then you can change whatever parameters you would like to change. I'm going to go back, model space, and make sure that one is set to current, and then I'm going to close. So here I have some examples of text. This is all done in single line text, which is what I prefer for doing labels and plant lists. I can simply come in here, double click on a text, and change the text from Autumn Brilliant Serviceberry to Ganala. But we can simply go ahead and double click on any text and update it. Another powerful reason I use single line text is that it has a lot of options, and we can use all of our AutoCAD commands to move text and adjust text. So if I click on this text, you can see I come up with a grip that's also an insertion point. I'm going to go down to my OSNAPs, turn them on. I'm going to right click, go to settings, and I'm going to make sure that my insertion is on. And then I'm going to say OK. Now I can use a polyline, and it will grab that insertion point, and I can make sure that all my text is lined up. So if I happen, actually I'm going to move this from common name down to Ganala Maple, because that actually is lined up. If one of my text was a little bit out of line, I could simply create another construction line from that insertion point, use the move command, grab it from that insertion point to that intersection, and make sure everything is lined up. If I click on a text, I can go over here and look at my justifications. So this is left justified, center justified, right justified. Every time I change the justification, these grips or insertion points will also be adjusted. So that gives you a lot of flexibility on how you're going to work with this text. If I go over here and look at some of my labeling, you can see I've used single line text. These have been justified to the left. I'm going to switch quickly to another drawing and show you that these texts over here are all right justified. These texts over here are left justified. And that keeps your text lined up very easily around the drawing. Switching back to my text file here, I'm going to show you how to start a new single line text. So single line text is hiding under the multi-line text. You can go and click anywhere on the screen and read your command line. The first thing it's asking for is a rotation angle. So if I want it regular, it's going to be 0. 0 is always to your right hand, 90 is up, left is 180, and down is 270 in AutoCAD. So I'm going to go ahead and accept the default of 0 and say big tree, small tree, oops, green tree. And then I can go back up here to where I misspelled it and change it to small tree. So it automatically spaced my text in single line text. Once I go down to the bottom here and hit enter and then enter one last time, it'll get out of that. So you enter twice to get out of the text command. If you hit escape, it will erase your text. Let me show you that real quick. You can just enter the word text into the command line, start a new text. I'm going to accept the default of 0 and say big tree again. This time I'm going to I'll hit return, go small tree. My spelling is terrible. Then if I forget to hit enter twice and I hit escape, it's going to erase that last one. So you make sure you got to hit enter twice to accept text. So that's how you would do single line text. Multi-line text will give you this kind of a text box. And then you can do To get out of this command, you just click somewhere else on the screen. When you do go back and edit multi-line text, double click on it, your ribbon now becomes more of a text editor, which is nice, but I really like this more for doing paragraphs. So here I have a little paragraph over here, and you can just drag these arrows to kind of get that text to fit wherever you need to have it be for your layout. You can also do your plant list in multi-line text, but it's a little bit harder to adjust things. I'm going to correct some spelling here. If I were to go in and change this to maple, I'd have to use my tabs and re-tab everything over, and that can get really messy and a little bit more time consuming if you're doing a whole long list and just changing a few things. So those are the basics of text.